Maths is a really fun subject with a simple solution. You either get it wrong or you get it right, but no one actually teaches you how to get it right. So I'm going to give you the 4 main steps to getting a grade 9 in GCSE Maths. Watch to the end for a bonus tip on how to actually plan your exam. The first crucial step to getting a grade 9 in Maths GCSE is to just get it. Let me explain. Imagine you're playing a game and you're trying to complete a difficult level. You've read the instructions but you're not sure what to do. You keep trying different things but you keep failing. Then you realize that you don't actually understand the instructions. So you go back and read them again, and this time you really pay attention. Suddenly, everything makes sense and you know exactly what you need to do. You complete the level easily and you feel proud of yourself for your achievements. If you don't understand the content, you're not going to do well. It's really that easy. However, if you listen in class more, spend more time paying attention, you will understand the process. You can also use revision guides like CGP. I personally like to use online resources like Corbett Maths, which has a lot of videos and worksheets, and you can't forget Maths Genie. If you go through every topic on there repeatedly and you get most of the questions right each time, there's no reason for you not to be on a grade 9, at least unless you don't take the next step. Imagine you're preparing for a big sport competition, like a track meet or a soccer game. You've been practicing for weeks, but you're still not sure if you're ready. Then your coach tells you to do a practice run. At first, you're not sure if it's worth it. You've already been practicing so much and you're tired, but you decide to give it a try. As you're playing, you start to notice things that you didn't notice before. You see where you're making mistakes and you realize what you need to work on. After the practice run, you feel more confident and prepared for the competition. That's what past papers do. If you practice them over and over and over, the steps you once struggled with will come to you naturally. So if you always freeze when you're in the exam, it doesn't necessarily mean you're bad or you're stupid. All it means is that you haven't prepped enough for the exam. So you'd be like, I think that
my mind is not developed to do this.
But rest assured, as they can only ask you what's on the spec, so you want to expose yourself to as many questions as you can, so that when it comes to the exam and you see a question, you start to think of the process that it takes and the topic that it requires. It's really easy to do. Just do past papers regularly, identify your weak areas and improve them by watching videos, looking at revision guides, and doing worksheets specific to that topic. You don't have to do a past paper every day. That's not going to happen. But what you can do is go over to Corbett Maths and do the 5 a day. It ranges from beginner to higher plus. It's always a random set of questions, and if you get an answer wrong, you can check their step-by-step working out. Push to do one every day, and if you practice consistently, you can understand breaking your knowledge, level them up, build on it until you're at a point where you can answer any question with no stress at all. However, if you're struggling to do this daily, one tip to help is to go to school early. I know this sounds crazy, but 10-20 minutes a day in the morning for your GCSE is not too much to ask, and cause once you get it done, you get it done, and it helps to reinforce your math skills. A month or two before the exam, do a past paper every week. It doesn't matter if paper 1, paper 2 or paper 3, but whichever one, do it and review by checking the mark scheme. Practice makes perfect. The exam is basically a game, and the aim is to score the most points in time conditions. Silly mistakes are too common and they're my ultimate nemesis. I remember when we had the first set of marks in year 11 and I got 57 out of 80 on paper 2. And I went through it and found out that I lost 10 marks just due to silly mistakes. So go through your mocks and check for common mistakes like typing the wrong numbers into the calculator or using the wrong units, and if you can keep checking out for them whenever you do a test, this helps to increase your marks. The surefire way to stopping all silly mistakes is to read the question properly before you begin. The examiners want to trick you by putting a lot of rubbish in there so you can get sidetracked, so you want to concentrate on every number, every unit and every fact. For example, if the question says that the shape in the diagram is a square, then you know that all of the sides are going to be the same value, so you want to keep remembering that and keep that in your mind. You also want to notice the keywords which make you think of the topic. For example, if you see a question which says work out the percentage increase, then you want to remember that you have to do the change divided by the original times by 100. And finally, you want to double check all working out an answer, starting with the high marks questions, especially if something doesn't look right. Like, if it's a non-calc paper and you're getting a decimal as an answer, and it doesn't say to 3 significant figures or something like that, then you know that something's not right and you need to check it again. If you like to know how to plan your timing for the exam, then watch to the end to find that out. When reviewing your mocks and past papers and you've got something wrong, you want to make a flashcard with the steps to solving the question with the key information in a standout color so you can go through it before the exam. Also make flashcards for what you need to memorize for the exam, like all the probability things, the sign graph, the cos graph, the tan graph. You want to make sure you're familiar with all the topics in your spec, because a lot of the questions in the exam try to catch people out, and so back in summer, I made a bunch of notes on every single topic on the exam. But if you don't have this or you don't have the time, online revision guides and flashcards is the way to go. 2 days before the exam, you want to grind 2 past papers a day minimum. For how to plan your timing in the exam, you want to spend 45 minutes to 60 minutes answering all questions and 30 minutes to 45 minutes double checking all answers and working out, starting with the high marks question. That is the difference between a grade 7 student and a grade 9 student. If you'd like to see how I went up by 8 grades in 6 months, then click this video.